Hey y'all, it's your thrifty practitioner Tara. How are you guys doing? I hope this video finds you well today. I also hope that you learned something today. And so guys, this is the third video. And in this video, we are going to be going over my SMART goals. What I plan to do for the year. In addition, I plotted some things onto my annual overview just to kind of help me out as well. In the last two videos, what you found out is, why I'm budgeting, the 5 reasons. In addition to that, also, we went over, bless the hearts, my pre-plan. And my pre-plan was so sad to me. And so as I set my goals based upon my pre-plan and also plotting some things on my annual overview, it gets a little more interesting, and it does make me seriously think. I'm not sure how my year is going to go. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to save any extra money. Everything's possibly going to be going to a sinking fund somewhere. I am going to have to most definitely look at my sinking funds as well, just to see which ones are going to have to go and which ones are not. So that's going to be an interesting video as well. All right, guys, let's go ahead and let's get started in this video. So this is what we call the annual overview. Many people have seen it in their planners. So the annual overview usually is just like 12 months on a piece of paper. And in those blocks or whatever it is that from the planner that you've purchased, it has where you just kind of put in what's going on. So it's good for the things that don't occur monthly, like bonuses, distributions that you may get several times out the year, biannual type of payments, annual expenses, birthdays, weddings, anniversaries, things like that. And for me, when I think about the occasions, the special occasions, which are the birthdays, weddings, anniversaries, I'm not looking at it as, oh, I need to put down my husband's, my daughter's, my whatever, just to remember. It's more along the line of it's helpful for financial planning. So that's one thing to kind of look at it as. Sometimes I wonder when people put people's birthdays on there, is it just, oh, I just want to put this on there to remember? Or if it really is, I have a birthday or I have an anniversary or there's a wedding I'm going to, I need to make sure that I plan for this, have the money for the gift that I'm going to give. So once again, I'm not putting myself out by having to put it on the card, or I'm not paying a bill, or I put myself in a bond. Either way. So for my month, what I have, or actually for my year, I apologize. For my year, this is just what it is. Nothing special. Don't have really a lot of different expenses. In January, I just have my VN editor. Oh, just to let you know, the things that are in orange, written in orange, those are the 2 things that happen to do with the YouTube channel, and the one important thing. Anything in orange is really important. I need to remember. So Lord knows why I did not put my DEA in orange, but I just didn't. The things in red have to do with my professional life, licenses, dues, things like that, and also apps or CEU or journal renewals, whatever that has to do with that. Anything in black is just other stuff that I should remember. And so basically, and it's not a lot. I might be well spoken on here, and I love joking, but y'all, in real life, I am very much an introvert. So I don't go to many birthdays, weddings, and anniversaries. Oh, well, my anniversary, of course. But anywho, so I have the VN editor in January that's due, Canva. Let's see. And like I said, and this is the big one here. It's going to be that residential. It has a question mark by it, because just still not sure, praying that there's some sort of grant that we get approved for, to where we don't have to pay as much, send this person somewhere. Just praying that something different happens, because y'all, $8,000 is a lot to pay. And over a year, y'all multiply that by 12. So, you're mathematicians, y'all understand simple math. And, you think about what you can do with that money. So yeah, this is the part of being, I would say it's a twofold. Like I said, I don't talk about this much on this channel, but it's a very serious expense for us. And it's a decision that's still up in the air for the both of us, because we know that this particular child needs that help. Sending your kids to things like this is a toss-up. The older one went, and it it has worked. It's miracles. The younger one, I'm not gonna say it's miracles. We still have times, but it is a big improvement. It has helped. The younger one has different behaviors, so I'm not sure if it's really going to help. And when you send your children in these things like this, it's a toss up. In addition, when people talk about, I wish I had the money to do this, well, if you really look at it, even having the money to do it is still stressful. One, we don't qualify for certain things at times to get help. Insurance doesn't cover it at all. So it's a lot. It's a stressful moment. So just think about that. These things is kind of crazy. But the intense therapy is needed over the therapy that's provided. So that's enough of that. I know I go on about that, but I do want to explain this to you because that's a big expense, guys, a very big expense. I didn't have to be a part of it last year because I was paying off my debt, but this year I have to be a part of it, and I'm going to be contributing up to $3,000 to that. So yeah. And the distribution is also going to go towards that because the goal is to make it less on my husband so he doesn't have to work so much. All right, so let's see. I just have my Illinois dues that I have to pay, my AAMP dues, Hippocrates, my ASCCP app, those two apps, my journal renewal from the American Association of Family Practitioners. Let's see. Car insurance, you pay that twice a year. My husband's car taxes, my car tax, or tags. In Illinois, you only pay the taxes once. So the tags, our anniversary. So not really a whole lot going on, but still plotting it on here, understanding that there's a fee. The other big thing for me is this DEA license that I have to pay. It's every 3 years. This is one of those expenses that's real crazy that you just have to remember you have it. And when you have it, it's big. So what I did last year, and I do every year, is I put it on my recurring expense list. And the reason why I do it, because it is a recurring expense, even though it's every 3 years, it's recurring. And that way I always remember, hey, it's coming up. And I put the year that it's due. And it just so happened to be due in 2025. All right. So the next thing that I do when I take this, the important things, I think about, not just my regular bills because they're already there, but I look at this and then I say, all right, let's set our goals. I got to set my goals for the year. This is where I do SMART goals. And SMART goals, I know not a lot of people understand what SMART goals are, but SMART goals help you be very specific about it and be able to provide a better roadmap of how you're going to achieve this goal. And we'll go over that. So pretty much here, I just wrote, setting financial goals is essential to managing personal finances. Goals help establish specific objectives that prioritize how personal cash flow is to be allocated. By clearly identifying financial goals, better control of where money goes can be gained. Okay, so prioritize. All right, so SMART goals. When we think about SMART financial goals, how do we do this? Let's go over every letter. Okay, you make the goals specific. Specific means you have established clear objectives such as start an emergency fund, reduce debt, or increase savings. You can at this point identify an amount or a percent of an increase or decrease. Okay, you're going to make the goal measurable. So identify how this goal will be measured. So are you going to be using a tracker? Are you just going to be budgeting for it? How are you going to measure this particular goal? Okay, is the goal achievable or actionable? Whichever one. They have different ones, but it should be achievable. Either way, so describe how the goal will be achieved. First of all, this is a yes or no. It's basically a yes or no. Is this goal achievable? Now, a lot of us are going to say yes. All right. Well, now you need to describe how the goal is going to be achieved. And if the goal does not appear achievable, does it need to be modified or removed? I think this is one thing that we have a problem with. We have problems in general because we want to make something fit so bad that we're not willing to take a step back to say, how can I modify this goal to where it is manageable, where it is achievable, that I can do it? Or, you know what? Hey, I don't think I can do this. I need to remove this. If you are stressing out about how to make it work, then it needs to be removed. That is a good rule of thumb. The next thing is the goal relevant? So now you done made it work, but is it really relevant? So you need to, once again, it's a yes or no. Of course, we're going to say yes, it's relevant. But why? So discuss how the goal is relevant to your current financial plans and overall financial priorities. And you're going to do the same thing up here. You're going to, if you're having a hard time to explain it, or you really find out that it is not as relevant as you thought, then what you need to do is you need to modify the goal or remove the goal. Once again, that's going to be, when you get to these last three, you're going to modify or remove. Okay, we're not going to make it work. You know, we got to get out, as adults, we got to get out of that, I'm going to make it work. No, we got to, is this really reasonable? Is this something I should be going for financially? If it is something I want to go for, how can I make this achievable? Okay, and relevant to a goal. Maybe I need to relook at my goal so that I can understand, or not understand, but I need to relook at my goal because maybe this goal really isn't the goal that I need to be striving for. All right, and is the goal time-based? All my goals, and basically it's set a reasonable deadline. Don't be like, I'm going to do an emergency fund in 2 months. And you know good and well you're not going to be able to. That's just not, you know, if you feel like, hey, I can get a $1,000 emergency fund or a $3,000 emergency fund together in a year. I'm going to spend this year working on getting my emergency fund. If you are able to get it before that, that's great. If you are able to get it by the end of the year, that is great as well. But your goal is always going to be to adjust other things so that you can make it, because it's a goal, which is going to lead me over to my other thing that I get to. But that's what time-based is. Time-based is, you know, setting a reasonable deadline for the goal to be achieved. So once again, if the deadline does not appear achievable, then reassess the timeline or the goal and adjust accordingly or remove the goal. So like I said, these last three, you're going to modify or remove. You have to be very cognizant of your financial situation enough to say, you know what, I made this a goal and I don't think this is really a goal that I need to be striving for, or I need to adjust this goal to make it more manageable. Okay. And so now we're going to get into my other little part of it. I got 13 minutes. I'm going to go through this, and this is just me. So these are my SMART goals, and I am going to see how I'm going to do this. This is going to be fun. I hope you guys can see this. I'm going to move my little winter sign here so I can, oh yeah, I heard that. Okay. I have a SMART goal template for myself. It's also in my budget planner. And my template, I have 5 spaces for 5 goals. I said before in a prior video that, you know, 3 goals is probably good. At least a minimum of 3, a maximum of 5. I would say for some people, a maximum of 3. Because once you start setting all of these goals, I think I saw somebody that had like 10 goals, and it stressed me out. It stressed me out. I think the smaller your list, the more attainable they are, the more focused you'll be, and you'll be surprised how some of the other things actually fit into your larger goals. You can make them fit into your larger goals because you'll be able to say, oh man, financially, I have these things, so I'm able to do this. I do have this money to do this. I do have this money to do that. And then you'll probably also take a look and say, oh man, you know what? It does make sense that I don't do this particular thing that I wanted to do right now, you know? So once again, you're always modifying or removing. That's why 3 goals is good. My 3 goals always cover debt. I know I did that. I had to think. They cover debt. Debt's always going to be covered. Retirement and some form of savings. Okay? Debt, retirement, and savings. That's why I say at least 3. So, and then I have an extra one on here, and it says spending. Debt's in red because we're in the red. Retirement and investment are in the green because the goal is cash flow. And then spending is just neutral, even though spending normally is like an in the red type of thing. This is, once again, I'm working to gain control of my spending. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's get this started. So my goal for debt, my goal is I want to reduce my mortgage. Oh, let's see if y'all can y'all see this? Y'all probably can't pull it in a little bit more. Sorry guys, because I'm trying to make it so I can pull this out. But anyway, and you're not seeing too much. But anywho, so I want to reduce my debt, well, my mortgage principal by 5%. That's going to be $23,590 this year. I'm going to use a tracker And each icon is going to be a certain dollar amount. So that's how I'm measuring it. Is it achievable? Yes, it's achievable because I'm going to budget to pay $907.30 per pay in 2025 in order to achieve this goal. So this is something that I'm going to do. Is it relevant? Yes, it is relevant because it aligns with my goal, or with our goal in the house, to pay off our house in, I put 5 years, y'all. That should be 8. What made me say 5 years? I think I was thinking of something else that I did not get to do because of some other things. Okay. 8 years. We'll pay this house off in 8 years. There you go. All right. So for this particular goal, for this particular amount, my deadline is going to be 12/30/95. What? Why did I put 95 on everything? Y'all, it's supposed to be 25. Woo, Lord. I don't know what I was thinking. Hold on, y'all. Hold, please. Okay, guys, I am back, and I corrected that for all of them. Because this is going to be for the 2025 year, all of this is going to be time bound to 2025. Okay, so it's just a year's worth of goals. Okay, bless my heart. All right, the next thing that I have here for retirement is I want to increase the 403B cost basis by 7.8% of my base salary. Okay, that is going to be $7,800. This will be tracked on my pay stub. Yes, this is achievable. It is already set up with the new job, and I think it starts coming out. I don't know if it's going to be this month or in January, not sure. But either way, what do you call that? They're auto deductions, and they're going to be even amounts over a 26 pay. Okay, and this is one of the things that I talk about when I say I don't believe in magic months. And I don't believe in magic months because if you are, what do you call that? You get paid a certain way every 2 weeks. That's 26 pays. That's your pay, because especially if you're salary, that's what it's divided over. I don't have any magic money when it's the same money I was supposed to get anyway. Now, if it was more money, which is, for example, my company does do a match. Well, they don't do a match. Actually, they don't do a match. What they do is it's more like a profit sharing. And so they decide each quarter if they're going to provide you any additional money in there. I am trying to ask around to see when was the last time they actually did that. There's a new CEO, so I'm not sure. He's more of about saving money, so I'm not sure how it's going to go. However, it doesn't matter. This is my money. I get to kind of self-manage some of this, so I'm kind of happy about that too. And I get to self-manage with Schwab, so that is nice. What I'm going to do, of course, is there's going to be a couple of the mutual funds that I can invest in that I already invested in my personal investment account. So I'm okay with that. But overall, get off the subject. My apologies, guys. Yes, it is achievable and it's already set up. All right, now, does it align with is it relevant? Yes, it aligns with my goal to increase my savings by $15,000 in 2025. So for my retirement savings. By $15,000 in 2025. And once again, the deadline for to achieve this is going to be the end of the year. So the next thing we have, I'm going to push this up. I hope you guys can see this. All right. The next thing we have is my investments. My goal there is to increase the cost basis in my brokerage account by 80%. So my cost basis is basically what I already have put into that account for 2024. So I took that and I said, okay, actually, I backed into it. So it's an 80% amount. So what I am actually contributing for the year is going to be $7,200. Okay. And I'm going to track this on a check register. So I already have that here in my retirement. I am not going to be doing this binder as I thought I would be, because once again, I've had a lot of changes and right now I got to put some things on hold, but I do track this here. And I do track this on a register for Schwab in here. I have one more payment that's coming out in this month, and that'll make my cost basis $8,900. I rounded up to $9,000 and I just went from there. So, all right. Now, I am going to, is this achievable? Yes. It's achievable through the auto draft that I already have that goes to Schwab, and it's going to be $600 a month. Does this align? Is it relevant? Yes, it aligns with the goal to increase my retirement savings by $15,000 in 2025. Okay, and once again, I have to make that by the end of the year. Now, here's the thing: we do have a big thing that's going on this year. Once again, y'all saw it with the with the payment that's possibly going to happen starting in May. The reason why I didn't contribute all of this to my retirement is because, guys, once again, it's easier to not contribute, to cut off the auto draft for the month. It's quicker to cut off the auto draft than it is to make the adjustment for my 403B. All of the money is the same. I'm not going to put this in an IRA because we're high earners. It's a penalty for us and not really a, it's a penalty. It's a penalty. And actually we end up having to pay tax on it. So I can't put anything into the IRA, but I can always put it into this brokerage account. So this may change over the year. We'll see. But for right now, this is my goal. This is an attainable goal. And that's the biggest thing is this goal something I can do? Yes, it is. All right. So my last goal has to do with spending. I want to keep my personal spending at or below $3,600 for the year. And so personal spending, guys, is what I already budget for personal spending and also for dining out. In 2025, everything's going through the account now. So I no longer need to take any extra money out for all the other things I did, which is like household gas, household pets and groceries. Okay. Date night doesn't come out and nothing for the grandbabies either. I think I'm gonna have to do that through savings challenges. So what it is this $300 a month as well as $3,600. So I'm going to use a budget and I'm going to start my splurge fund. Okay. My splurge fund, how I'm going to do that is a little different. So I'll explain that later because honestly, I want to be able to go into the 2026 with a little bit of this money as well. Actually, and with a splurge fund so I can have a little more money in 2026. I'm really trying to control my spending. I can't make up for anything I've done in the past, but what I can do is monitor going forward. Now, what am I going to do? I'm going to allocate, well, is it achievable? Yes, I'm going to allocate $150 per pay to personal spend and roll what is not used. Okay. And so is it relevant? Yes, it's relevant because I want to decrease my frivolous spending by setting a max amount annually. My max amount is $3,600. Okay. And my goal is to achieve this by 12/30. How else I'm going to track this is I have everything else to track it. I'm going to be utilizing my budget. I'm going to have like a spend account and I'm going to be showing all of this stuff. So believe me, I'm going to be tracking it. This is a little more high level than what I'm saying in regards to how it's going to be tracked, but I'm going to be tracking it. Now, back to that. I want to flip this over real quick. And so what is included in personal spending in 2025? Once again, it's my normal allotted spending and dining out. It's the miscellaneous spending, impulse spending, and even the grandbaby extra spending. I know, not the grandbabies. Because I just have to. This is something that I want to do personally. $3,600 is a lot. I have a lot of things. Y'all, I purchased some stuff that is like literally just sitting on the floor and has been sitting there for a week. Anything that, and I don't know where it needs to go and who I need to give it to. And I sent a text message to my daughter the other day that says, "Hey, do you want any hand soaps from Bath and Body Works?" I said, because I just feel like spending some money. That is the stuff I've got to stop. So that's why this is important to me. And that's why it is most definitely a goal, a smart goal, a financial goal for 2025. Okay. So now we're going to go into the next part of it. The next part is with your SMART goals is you really got to figure out how are you going to do that? You know, I learned that last year. I tried to go ahead and say, oh, okay, well, I can just set these SMART goals. And then, y'all, I was just all over the place. I was all over the place and it was stressful. It was stressful figuring out how to do certain things. And I finally got a flow, but I was like, I don't want to do that again. So I have a SMART goals worksheet, and in there, I want to be honest about what are my challenges. I need to identify my challenges, you know, what resources, income lacking, what is needed, and other financial priorities that could pose a problem, that do or could pose a problem. Okay. And so then the other thing is over here are the key steps. And my key steps should answer how the goal will be achieved and what the milestones during achieving the goal. You know, what are my milestones that I'm going to run into? Okay. So I'm going to go over this and let me do it this way so you guys can see this. The first one is the mortgage principal. And I'm going to tell you, for all of them, I at least just listed one step. I'm still going to have to think about what the second steps are. I didn't just want to just willy-nilly throw something out there, because I at least knew the first step to stuff. And also for all of them, as far as my challenges, the biggest challenge is going to be the diversion of cash that is possibly going to occur in May. So that is going to be the biggest challenge of reaching all of these goals. So if I do not pick up a second job to help supplement, and I have to divert a lot of my cash, it might be a little hard, especially for this one, to continue to apply that amount to the principal. Okay. So once again, I'm just going to budget. So $907 is going to be applied to the principal every pay. So when I get paid, that's what I'm going to do. I can't set it up as an auto payment because this is coming from a separate account, but I can make an extra payment. And so I'll just do that. I know when I get paid, I got to make this extra payment. Okay. So then for my 403B, what am I going to do? Well, I've already done it. I've already set up my automatic pay deduction in equal amounts over 26 pay periods. So I've already done that. I'm not going to change that. I don't plan on going to change that amount. Even if I have to change my investments, I am not going to change this amount, because the most important thing is the 403B, and I can self-direct. So since I can, or self-manage, once again, I'm going to be doing a lot of my Schwab stuff that I already have. And that's it. There you go. So now my brokerage costs, how am I going to do that? Well, I need to increase my bank withdrawal that's going to Schwab to $600 a month. So that's what I'm going to have to do. I am probably going to do this twice a month. And when I do it twice a month, I am going to, what do you call that? When I do this twice a month, I am going to probably have it out maybe, I don't know, closer to my pay periods, but it'll be $300 each time. All right, so, and as far as this one, actually, my personal spending, to keep my personal spending equal to or less than $3,600 a year. This has nothing to do with how this goes. This all has to do with my impulsivity. Because like I said, I saw that Bath & Body Works was having a sale. I was like, oh, $2.95 for hand soaps. Hey, do you want some? Because I don't need any. Lord forbid me need anything. I just buy stuff and give it away. Bless my heart. So I have to stop all that. But anyway, so how I plan to do that is I no longer use my big binder. I reduce to the cash wallet, and I'm only going to keep my gas and my spend money in there. So I'm going back to the little wallet that I ended up getting from Baddies and Budget. Yay. And so I think, yeah, that was one that came in it was a sister to this that came in my advent calendar last year. And so I'm going to go back to using that, and I'm only going to keep money in there to be able to pay for gas and the money I have to choose from to spend. Okay. And also I'm turning off access to my credit card on 1/1/25. That's it. I turn it off. It is just, I am not going to have anything going through there. I'm going back through the year this month and seeing all the things that were automatically charged to that, and it's now going to come out of my bank account. That's it. Not doing it no more. I'm taking off all my auto pays and everything, and I'm just going to cut the card off. I will cut it on if I need it for emergencies. I have one credit card. That's it. That's the only one I have. And so, yeah, this is going to be interesting. People are going to have no spend days. I'm going to have a no credit card year. So, all right, guys. Well, that is my year. That's what's going on. Those are my SMART goals. I'm hoping to achieve them. I'm sorry, guys. I rocked you again. Oh, I am not going to make it out of these videos without some sort of failure of my equipment. So I hope you guys learned something. I hope you're learning something and also having the ability to take this and apply, or if anything, think about your financial situation to say, okay, I need to make some adjustments and here's how I'm going to do it. Even if you make one goal and stick to it for the entire year, that is a start. That is the start to you and your financial future. I don't want to say financial freedom. I want to say financial future, because there are many things that we have to do, a lot of us, to feel financially free. And me, as I stated the other day, mine is I just don't want to have a lot of things that are going to disrupt. And right now we do have that one major thing in May that is going to disrupt our financial frugality. So, all right, guys, if you like this type of content, don't forget to comment below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, turn on those notification bells, and I'm going to see you. Look at that, my thumb. I'm going to see you in my next video.